Hey guys, Wayback Rewind here.
In 1996, JVC introduced what many people call the first Mini DV. May not have been the absolute first, but it was the first available to consumers.
In part 1, I showed you some of its features, but I was unable to take it into the field due to lack of batteries. I'm going to remedy that and show you some sample footage. Coming up next, here on Wayback Rewind. One thing I did not have with this camera was a remote. The remote, it interfaces with the dock here. Let's see if this works. Apparently the battery's dead. Let me replace the battery. See if that helps. This is a 2025. Replace it with a brand new 2025 and see what we got. And it's working. So I didn't expect the battery to be good. I have a whole drawer full of 2025s. I can turn the display on. Interesting. The camera itself is complaining about a battery. I replaced the 2025 in this one. This one has a wonky door on it that doesn't want to stay closed. I didn't replace the battery. So even on a good day, when these batteries were new, you could only get 30 minutes out of one of those single 18650 batteries. And so JVC realized this was an issue. In all of the GR DV series, batteries were held internal. That was a problem. Internal batteries can only be so large. You can't really do oversized batteries. So JVC had a solution for that. JVC's solution to limited battery power to the single cell was the battery grip. So what the battery grip does is it allows you to put your camera into this grip. It does use the same connections as the dock, but it's more of a manual thing instead of a slide lever. These two hooks have to engage in those receptacles. Once those hooks go in there like that, once you move this rubber flap, it kind of snaps into place. Then okay, this feels kind of half thought out. This rubber thing has to be out of the way, but it doesn't really have a convenient place to go. The strap kind of is in the way, but not really. And this wire comes up here and plugs in to the machine. Okay, the wire plugs into the machine. But now the question of the day is what kind of batteries go in here? How does this even open? Okay, I had to read the instructions. The battery grip must have the batteries loaded into it before you mount it to the camera. And as I expected, it uses 2 of the regular batteries. So if I put 2 dead batteries in here, whoever designed this must have been an intern, because this battery can only be installed before you mount the camera, which I didn't know a minute ago. I'll put this back on just to demonstrate, but it's going to be useless because those batteries are dead. You close this up, tighten the tripod mount, plug this in. So that's the battery grip. Let's look at some of the menus. I'm going to bring this in a little closer. So the menu is in a place where I never would have found it without reading the manual. But up under here, there's a button. I can show you on this one, but the menu is up underneath the retractable viewfinder. After you press that menu button, your zoom is your up and down. And this button here is the select. So you have, I think it's 3 screens. You have this screen for sound mode, time code, display on. So the zoom lever is the up down. And the set button is the select. So once full sound is blinking, so then I go back to zoom. I have sound 1, sound 2, full sound. Go set. I come into sound 1, sound 2, full sound. Set. Synchro is for editing. I can put in how much delay I want when I'm synchro editing between this and another camera. Display, I want that on. If I switch it to off, I'm going to have problems. I won't be able to see what's going on the screen. Time code I want on. So those are the playback. So let's see what other menus we have here on the camera side. We can select between wide mode. We have cinema, off, which is full screen, and squeeze. Squeeze allows you to shoot in widescreen but utilize the entire sensor area, which will give you more pixels, higher resolution, but it requires you to de-squeeze on playback, which it will do automatically on some televisions, but not on all. So if you're a little worried about compatibility, you can just shoot in cinema, which is basically letterbox. Zoom, you have 20x, which is 10x optical plus a 2x digital. You can go to 100x, which is a 10 times digital, which is crap, so you never want to do that. So 20 is kind of a good compromise. DIS is digital image stabilization. Of course, you want to leave that on. Gain up, you can leave in automatic control. Fader and wipe menu, you can go to that. You have fade to white, fade to black, a dissolve, a corner wipe, and a window wipe. You have some digital effects here. You can have shutter, gives you a lot of different options like slow speed shutter, super slow, video echo, kind of gives you a trailing after image, or high speed shutter, a twilight effect, a sepia, monotone, and classic film. I'll point out here that digital signal processing had been around for quite a while, even on analog cameras, but having them here on a digital camera was just a little nice to have. As I always tell you, I would generally stay away from camera effects because they're permanent. I would rather shoot it regular and then do these in post-production. But sometimes there are certain effects that you can only get live originally. So there are a handful that fall into that category. Like if you need something to give you a more light gathering capability in order to be able to see the scene, like the twilight feature maybe, or the slow speed or high speed shutter. Sometimes you absolutely need to use those effects just to get the shot, but generally speaking, I would suggest not doing that. Date and time menu, of course. And then you go to the system menu, which gives you even more things to mess around with. 5-second was a big thing in the 90s because they were trying to help people out from shooting something for an hour where You really only need to see it for 5 seconds, so it kind of forced you to be a little more judicious in your scene selection. Beep, wind cut, sound mode, and ID number. And those are the menus.
I actually had to shovel the sidewalk.